Hi, welcome back to Greater Things. I'm Abby, and with me today is my husband Daniel, as well as Dianne. So we've spent 3 different videos telling you a little bit about the ministry here. Our first one was why here. Our second one was why now. Then we talked about why us. Well, today we're going to talk to you about why this. We're going to share with you a little bit about the vision of the ministry here and what we want to see God accomplish. So Daniel, why don't we start with talking a little bit about the foundation, One Way, how that came to be?
Well, about 15 years ago, we started a youth church called One Way. And it's just the blessing of God that He's been pouring into our lives that we were able to do what we did in the past. And we seen during those years, we saw 100 youth coming into the church and hearing the gospel. And that name just stuck to us. It's just like it's our DNA. And a couple years ago, God puts on our hearts again to start a foundation. So we decided to start a foundation called One Way. And even though at the time we didn't really have the resources, we didn't really have the finance, but by faith, we just did it anyway. And with the grace of God, we're able to start one. So we really saw the local church sprung up through the foundation.
Yeah, so as a foundation and as a ministry here in Thailand, Daniel, what is the vision? What do we see God doing? What is our hope?
Well, we believe that the local church is the key to see an entire nation being transformed.
Yeah.
And I just cannot explain it better than that. And we have a heart to see a high standard of excellence in the ministry. We like to see a church that would be a role model in this nation, because this nation needs a role model.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, and we have a heart to see people of influence being saved, coming into the church. That's why we did a bilingual church. And we did not want to leave anyone behind. You know, we're in the nation of Thailand, and most people speak Thai, but there are also people who are here visiting this nation, and they don't speak Thai. So they speak English, and we believe that we don't want to leave anyone behind. And whomever God has put into our hands, into our cares, we want to serve them with our best. And we want them to be able to understand and to see the clear picture of what we're doing here in Thailand.
So one of our mottos as a church is find truth, find family. Tell us a little bit about that.
I've learned through the years that no matter where you are, we used to live in Canada, and now we moved back to Thailand. And I've learned that no matter where we are in life, people needs family. And I believe that when they find the truth of who Christ is and what He can do for you, and the next step from there is that you would find family in the local church. And that's something that God has been speaking to us really strongly, that you need to have a church that would welcome people in, no matter what age they are, no matter who they are or how different they are. We need to be a family of love and care with everything we've got.
Yeah, and as a culture in our church, we've had people come in and say, this just feels like family. This just feels like home. And that's really one thing we value so much. And we know that church needs to be a place where people can come in and feel like they're part of something greater, that they're not alone. And
Yep.
One of the other things is church needs to be a place where people can serve. Not where they're being pushed to serve, but where they come in and they feel like the natural thing to do is to serve. It's easy to serve. We really believe that joy in people's lives, it doesn't come from watching what God is doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not who we are either. Joy and fulfillment comes from being a part of what God is doing. So we want to make a place, we want to create an atmosphere where it's so natural and easy to be serving, and that is what's going to bring people joy. And so as a church, we do have a very strong focus on families, and more than just being a part of a family, we want to see families changed, marriages transformed. We believe that leadership begins in the home. And so as families become stronger, society becomes stronger, church becomes stronger, the kingdom of God goes further. So we really, really want to see transformation happen in marriages, in homes, in families. And family also talks about people of every generation, not just, one age group. And so we really do spend a lot of effort making sure that we see people of every age group coming into and being a part of our church and our ministry here. So Dianne, why don't you talk a little bit about how we are excited to see people raised up in the ministry?
Yes. Well, from the very beginning, 25 years ago, we understood the gospel clearly. Go into all the world to make disciples. Teach people how to do what Jesus said to do. And then he said that the purpose of the church is to equip the saints to do the work. We've always had that heart, and God has so honored that. And in doing the work, even when unbelievers gather in the work, God's Spirit pours through it, and they go, what was that? And so this is a ministry that is hands-on, that understands discipleship, that is intentional in raising up leaders and raising up people of influence, not just looking for people of influence to join them, but to raise the church to become people of influence in the community. And we know from our experience that there is a whole unreached people group in Thailand, the young professionals, the business entrepreneurs. They are looking for credible, natural relationships with Western professional people, of which Dianne Abbi represent the best. Another thing I want to say is that in this intense discipleship, we all understand that none of us have arrived. We're all being discipled by someone. We are all in accountable, transparent relationships that is key. There can be nothing hidden.
So one of the things as a church that we're really committed to is finding creative solutions to problems. Yes. And that's one of my favorite things to do. So together we came up with 5 S's on problem solving.
Yeah, they're wonderful.
And whenever we launch a new program or have an idea for a way to reach out to the community or anything, we follow these 5 S's. And it's like this. Simple. The first one is simple. And I'll give you an example of the new kids curriculum that we just recently launched. It's been so difficult in the past to find something that works well with our bilingual children, making sure that every kid hears the gospel. And so we've come up with a way to pre-record these bilingual Sunday school lessons, and it's simple. It's very simple. A teacher can go into the class and they can just open the video and teach, and it takes the pressure off of them. It has to be successful. That's our second S. It has to be every kid has to be able to know the gospel and have an opportunity to receive Christ every time, without fail, every time. And that's what we call successful. It has to be sustainable. In the past, we used to have a translator in the class for our kids. And when a translator wasn't available, it was very difficult to make sure the kids were being taught well. And so now we have the bilingual kids material. We have the worksheets already. It's sustainable. One person can be able to teach it. Scalable. Yes. That means it has to be used on a small level or a large level. Yes. You know, what we have been able to come up with and provide the kids can be used on YouTube with one child sitting in a room, or it can be used with 100 kids in one room. It doesn't matter. It doesn't lose its potency. Right. And the last S is shareable. We really believe that God has called us to be able to share things, to like Daniel said, be a model that can be followed. And we've had other ministries come and ask us to use this kids material because there's nothing like it. And that's who we are. We want to be people who
Yes.
share. And
That's who they
we want to
are.
continue these kind of creative solutions throughout every part of the ministry. And that's really,
right.
that's who we are, and that's what we believe.
Well, you know, from the beginning, we've been here 25 years, and all of those years, thousands and thousands of people have been through our churches, have been discipled. Hundreds of different ministries have come and walked through the city and cried with us and prayed with us and believed God with us and waiting. When is the breakthrough coming? When is God's mercy going to be poured out like fire on this city? Well, the time is very close, and this is the way to get it done. Those ministries who've been here in the past with us, oh my gosh, we thank you for your prayers and your tears and your
Yes.
giving, because you help break down the walls. You help lay the foundation. And I'm going to tell you, the foundation under this ministry is strong. It's deep, it's solid, it's wide.
Amen.
And you've all helped do that. We want to invite you back to continue to be a part. The evidence of that is just this amazing location right on Sukhumvit
That's
at
right.
a price you would not imagine. A 6-year locked-in lease.
Stage behind us
This is
here.
the stage behind us. The gospel is going to be acted out. Christian movies are going to be shown. Lives are going to be changed.
Amen.
The fire's going to fall. This is as close as I've ever seen a God-given open door like Paul talked about. There is set before them, before Daniel and Abby, a large open door. And they're willing to go through. And they're lifers, guys. So they're here to stay. The best of both worlds. The world came to Pattaya to mess up. And we believe that God is building churches that are here to clean up. And so this is the vision. We invite you to be a part of it.
Well, thank you so much for watching. Again, if you haven't seen our first 3 episodes, go back and look for them, and you'll get a full image of what's going on here. Thank you for watching. We just want to say God bless you. God bless your families.
Amen. Get in touch.
We are currently raising funds for our building project in Pattaya. We have divided the project into segments according to the jobs needing to be done. The estimated cost of each job has been calculated. Funding will first be used on the jobs that will bring the building up to a minimum standard where we can feasibly gather people. Once these priority jobs have been completed, we will open the building for services as we continue to raise funds for chairs, air conditioning, etc. We're inviting you to join with us to see this dream become a reality. You can send donations directly to One Way Foundation in Thailand by using the information on the screen and in the description. For other ways to give, send us an email at info@onewaythai.com.